Throughout the history of the YouTube basketball scene, we have witnessed so many losses and embarrassing moments. However, these 5 losses are probably the most humiliating ones, and we're going to kick it off with the video looking at Nasir Kaur destroying an overseas pro in front of hundreds and thousands of viewers. Throughout the whole game, Nas was dominant and controlled every single aspect of the game. It didn't take long before the whole crowd was clowning the pro hooper for getting outmatched and outskilled on the offensive side, as well as the defensive side.
What you gotta say, Jer?
Hey, bro, I don't got bro scoring, bro, at all. I'm being real. At all. I got 100 to anybody beat me, but he don't score the whole game.
You better get your up and consult your home way, bro. Hey, oh God. Hey, you better have
my boy. I'll ride. What's the wheels fall off? Good game, but fuck it, bro. I don't think you knew the game started. That's crazy.
Hey, on to the next game, man. Hey, you wrong, bro.
Crazy, bro.
You wrong for that. You know damn well that ain't fair.
This one ain't it.
Hey, I like me to do better than that. Man, check up.
What's even worse is that Nas actually skunked the overseas pro hooper, and at some point the score was literally 13-3. That's insane. However, what happened next actually made me feel bad for him. The pro hooper took off his shirt and everybody thought he was about to turn up, only to break his own ankles and get gamed on.
It was a bad ball in that. Damn, that's bad. Bro, taking your shirt off and then getting sprayed is crazy. Like,
Hey,
don't do that no more.
White shirt? Nah, that boy is nice.
Bro,
He looked like he could hoop. He was just having an off day, but it was embarrassing, especially that last possession. Taking off your shirt only to lose is crazy. However, not as embarrassing as this next game. Stefania and Julian Newman were going against Devontae Frigga and Fitzmo, and to say it was an absolute slaughter would be an understatement. Not only did Julian's team get skunked, losing by 21 points and not scoring a single bucket, but also the first game was over in just 2 minutes and 25 seconds. A 2v2 game to 21 in just barely over 2 minutes. Yeah, that's insane. They didn't even get to touch the ball. 21-0.
They didn't touch the ball like that. We scored 22 straight.
The second game was way more challenging and competitive. However, the outcome was still the same. Team Frigga ended up getting the dub, despite Frigga barely even trying. However, props to Stefania and Julian for not giving up and actually putting their all, regardless of the outcome. However, 21-0 in no more than 2 minutes is something that you don't see every day. You could argue that losing to Devontae, who is arguably one of the best hoopers in the basketball community, is nothing to be ashamed of. However, there is no denying that losing to someone that doesn't even play basketball is humiliating, to say the least.
Embarrass how you finish.
I'm sorry.
Bad. I think you're worse than Flight. He's worse than Flight.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Yes, that's who Flight Reacts just lost to. So, give some context to the game. Aiden Ross has been calling out Flight Reacts to a 1v1, and almost after an entire year, Flight accepted the challenge, and it was an absolute embarrassing game to witness. It took Flight more than 6 minutes to score a single bucket after non-stop back-to-back air balls and smoked layups.
Pre-break.
Bro, it's 6 minutes in video. Y'all haven't made a shot besides one.
You gonna score, bro? What the fuck's going on right now, my nigga?
It's 2-0.
Let's go score.
Bro, Flight, it is
only to airball and smoke layups in the next possession. It got so bad for Flight that Aiden literally posted him up in the paint and flexed on him. Flight ended up losing that game. Not only did he lose to someone that doesn't even play basketball, but had a terrible performance, airballing 5 times and getting laughed at by pretty much everyone that watched that game.
Oh my God! Bro, you're shooting airballs wide open!
Bullshit.
Look at me.
Bro, Flight! Bro! Bro, you cannot talk about me. Bro, look at how much I could be trashing on you right now, bro. I'm being afraid right now. Bro, look at this. Look at this, bro. You shooting air balls.
You know what's worse than losing to Aiden Ross? Losing to the guy that lost to Aiden Ross. That's way worse. Flight Reacts played against Annoying TV, who used to be a 2K YouTuber, and he got absolutely skunked by Flight. He performed so terribly that he never played a 1v1 ever again after that game. You know it was terrible when Flight looked like he was a pro. Getting skunked by Flight is just humiliating, regardless of how you look at it and regardless of the skill level. That game, Annoying TV had a 3-point percentage of 0% alongside 2 air balls.
Oh, bro. Duh, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, duh. Bro. Bro, first of all, I want y'all to pay close attention to this release. What jump shot are you using, my guy? Look at this. Bro, obviously you gonna hit the side of the backboard, bro. Look at this release. What the is that, dog? Dead ass, dude. What the this nigga like this, bro? What you giving 2 high fives? What are you doing? Bro, that's not normal. I ain't never seen nobody shoot like that. Never in my life seen somebody shoot like this, bro.
Finally on the list, we have a lighthearted one, but kind of embarrassing to be honest. Kyrie Walker played Cam Wilder in a 1v1 game, and it was an absolute slaughter. Just take a look at these clips. Cam ended up getting skunked by 12 points, which is crazy in itself. However, it didn't stop there, because Drifty J, another member of Zone 6, called out Kyrie Walker to avenge Cam, and the results were even worse.
Jada, what you think? Kyrie Walker, 13. We going to 13. 1v1. What you got?
13-0 for sure.
Who, me or him?
Him.
Oh, fuck.
Drifty J ended up somehow getting skunked worse than how Cam was. 14-0. They played to 13 and somehow Drifty lost by 14. Yeah.
Bye-bye. 14-0. Bye. I told you he wasn't going to score.
Yet again, it was not over. Ryan the Crash Dummy had to step in to avenge both Cam and Drifty, and to be honest, he did very well actually. He almost beat Kyrie Walker. However, the outcome was the same. Kyrie ended up with the W. In the end, Kyrie Walker beat almost the entire squad of Zone 6, skunking 2 of them in the process. I mean, it's expected for them to lose. He's literally an NBA G League player after all. That's just basketball in a nutshell. You win some, you lose some. That's just how it goes. But thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button for more videos just like this, and follow me on Instagram at Chris with the wrist. If you ever played basketball or competed in a tournament, then you know that it's bound for someone to take a massive L, whether it's getting dunked on, getting skunked, or getting someone's ankles broken. However, these L's are quite humiliating that by literally watching it, you might actually feel bad. These are the 5 most humiliating L's that someone has ever took in the game of basketball. Lolo Fitzmo is a famous TikToker slash YouTuber who is known for her basketball skills. She participated in the House of Highlights tournament called Hustle Challenge, where she made it to the finals against Brianna Green. However, before her rise on the internet, she was a former D1 hooper for Syracuse University. So everyone expected her to either win or have a close game versus Brianna Green. However, Brianna Green was a former overseas pro who is regarded to be the best female hooper in the streetball community. Despite Lolo trying her absolute best, she outmatched in every single aspect. She couldn't guard Brianna, she couldn't drive to the basket, and she got overall outperformed that night.
It's a free throw. Ooh, big body on that one, but no call from the Zebra. But we respect calls here. And there you go. 17-0. Oh, that would have been it right there.
In fact, it was so bad that Lolo only scored 2 points. Meanwhile, Brianna had 21 points. That's the closest thing to a skunk. In fact, the first half of the game ended up 11-0.
Her confidence is not shaken whatsoever. Tough, that was a slightly late release with a 45% contest, and there it is. Halftime, 11-0. Are you kidding me?
What really made this L more humiliating is the fact that Lolo was a former D1 hooper, so everyone expected the game to be a close one, but instead, it was a proper blowout. However, it was nothing compared to how humiliating the next game is on this list. TJS is a calm, humble YouTuber who doesn't really like to talk much. Even when he wins, he doesn't really rub it in anybody's face. However, in this particular situation, he was ruthless. TJS was minding his business in Arizona when a trash talker walked up to him talking crazy. This trash talker challenged TJS to a 1v1.
Oh, look me up on Google. Look me up. Look me up. Look me up. I'm good, bro. I'm telling you. All right, so hey, look. He a famous YouTuber, right? He been ducking a 2-on-2.
He's a famous YouTuber.
Hey, they both been ducking a 2-on-2. So what I'm saying is, 1-on-1 right now. What you say?
I didn't come here.
See, exactly. Hey, y'all heard it first. What's your name again, bro?
John.
For John, the trashiest basketball player alive. The famous YouTuber is quiet, guys. It's quiet. Bro, me and him, we finna go 1-on-1. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna smack him. Easy.
So TJS had no other choice but to humble him real quick. Now, for someone who talked so much smack, you'd expect at least they would put up a good fight, right? No, he was absolutely garbage. He got destroyed. Skunked 12-0. Couldn't score a single bucket. Not only that, but after he lost, he had to throw away his shoes and his socks, going home literally barefooted.
Take my shoes off yet.
We're gonna see if he's a man of his word right here. What was the bet? What was the bet?
Bro,
What's the bet?
his shoes, his socks, and maybe a do-rag.
He don't hit 100 push-ups straight. He's gotta give up his shoes and his socks.
Hey, man, I just wanted to come up here and play 5, so.
Hey, what you gonna do? You gonna throw him on the court?
Hey, you said the socks too, right?
Socks too, yeah.
Look.
Oh, watch out, hands up.
Who let these dogs out?
These motherfuckers sexy.
He talked trash and acted like he was Michael Jordan. Did all of that just to get skunked and lose his shoes in the process. It had to be the most humiliating L someone has ever taken in the streetball community and publicly in front of everyone. This game had to be Cash Nasty's most humiliating basketball L that he had ever took. Cash Nasty takes pride in his game, and to keep up with the street ball legend Bone Collector is really hard. Not only did Cash get outmatched in every single aspect of the game, not only did he get skunked, but on top of all that, he got his ankles completely snatched. Probably the only time on camera that we've seen Cash's ankles get broken.
Oh my, no! Oh my, no! No!
What makes this game even worse for Cash is the fact that after the vid dropped, Flight played Bone Collector, and yet Flight didn't get skunked. He managed to score a single bucket, and that was it, against the Bone Collector, which made Cash look somehow worse than Flight.
Cash, you suck! You suck! I scored and you didn't, bitch!
Flight React took so many L's throughout his career that it's literally hard to keep up with. However, this game has to be his biggest L.
But one more thing, like I said, if y'all want to see that 1v1, get this video a thumbs up, man. And I'm going to try to get it popping for y'all. 9 times out of 10, these YouTubers is not going to play Illuminati. Because they know if they lose, say goodbye. You're not going to never hear the end of it.
Flight Reacts was challenged by So Illuminati to a 1v1 basketball game in which it ended up happening. So offered Flight thousands of dollars, and all he had to do was score a single bucket. Not even win the game. Not at all. Just score a single bucket. And Flight couldn't even do that. He got dunked on, crossed, and 11 zip. game had so much hype around it, and almost everyone in the basketball community was talking about how terrible Flight lost.
Fly get ball first. Look how he bouncing that motherfucker. Look how he bouncing the ball. Look how he bouncing the ball. Look. He got his shirt tucked in.
What makes it even worse is that Flight agreed to a rematch, and Soluminati literally showed up in jeans and still managed to skunk Flight 11-0, bringing the score to a total of 21-0.
11 zip. We are.
What you gotta take to him, man?
You got me, man. I'm gonna play it fair. I'm gonna get credit for where it's due, man.
You got 21 zip.
It had to be Flight's worst L ever. In fact, it was so bad that Flight literally admitted that Soluminati is way better than him. He lost so bad that it knocked the delusion thought. This was funny. He lost so bad that it knocked all of the delusional thoughts out of his head. This had to be the worst and most humiliating L that anyone can ever take in a basketball game. I mean, 21-0? Come on now. Playing in a tournament for 50K, losing bad, getting outmatched, and then quitting halfway through, it's one thing to lose, it's one thing to get skunked, it's a whole different thing to quit in a competitive tournament for 50 grand.
Watch push off. No pushing off. Don't quit. Nope. I'm not playing. Don't get quitter.
I don't need to elaborate any more on it because we all know the situation about Kenny quitting halfway through. He may have not been mentally there, maybe something was going on outside of all this, but quitting for a tournament that involves 50K, that's a lot of money on the line, and I don't think anybody would quit.
Kenny, stop it! You going out like a coward, bro. Fight! Fight, Kenny, fight! Fight! What is this? Yeah, we know he putting his shoulder down. We know it, but he come to win. $50,000 on the line, Kenny. Come on, fight, bro. Damn, you looking soft. Come on, bro.
I hope you enjoyed the video. This is not meant to be a diss at anyone. It's just entertainment at the end of the day. We all take L's. It's nothing to be ashamed about. But if you're gonna start a game, make sure you finish it. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Chris the Director. If you want to check me out on my YouTube channel where I post different content than this, it is the Director. Thanks for tuning in to 1v1 Thoughts. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment on what you think, and stay tuned for the next video.
Losing in a game of basketball is a very common thing, even for great hoopers. If you play long enough, especially against decent comp, you could potentially lose, which there is nothing wrong with. However, sometimes these losses are a bit too embarrassing. Robbie have been talking smack to Gonzo in the group chat, saying that he's gonna skunk him and pretty much calling him out.
But in our big group chat before even coming down here to Florida, these two were already going back and forth in the text messages, so without even knowing who they were talking shit to, they just started talking shit. So we had to set it up.
Honestly, I don't think Gonzo is someone you want beef with.
Yeah. Chill, Gonzo, chill. We hooping. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Don't get mad.
He always seems like the type of person to see red whenever things get heated on the court. Right off the bat, the game was one-sided to say the least. Gonzo was just killing Robbie, hitting threes, driving to the basket, and laying the ball with ease. And ones left and right. I hate to say this, but it wasn't even a close game. There was nothing about that game that made me think Robbie is gonna have a comeback.
Skunk him, Gonzo. Skunk him, Gonzo. Yeah. Boy. We're gonna be on that 3v3 real soon.
I don't know if he was intimidated by Gonzo or he was just having a very off day. Robbie got scored on so many times that at some point the score was literally 16-0. Those are cartoon numbers. I'm sorry, but that's a double skunk. To be fair, Robbie did manage to score 4 points, so technically in the end he didn't get skunked. But losing 21-4 is a blowout to say the least.
Hey, I should have called you a timeout, fam. I had one more. You look mad tired. You look mad tired. All that shit you was talking in the crib was crazy. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. Respect your elders.
What's even more embarrassing is that after the game, Gonzo said that he didn't even try.
Hey, bro, he's been talking trash to me the whole time I've been here, like, and I've been humble. I haven't even said a word. Yesterday he was talking trash. When we got back from the crib and we didn't play, he was talking, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? I've been locked in since yesterday. And when he was over here, I was like, he's dead in the water. I've been telling my boys that, even Freak, I told him, nigga's not gonna be able to fuck with me. I didn't even have to get in my bag. That nigga sucked. No respect here.
Oh my God. I don't even know. Cal, take it over.
Shit.
What happened?
How'd that game go?
It's alright, shit, I lost. It is what it is. I ain't tripping about it. Good game, nigga.
Good game, man. Good game.
Alright, well.
Oh.
But props to Robbie for being humble and taking the L as a man. After all, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. He didn't make any excuses or acted all salty. If you think scoring 4 points is a blowout, then this next example will shock you. Rob, the iconic hooper from the next chapter, 1v1 Elijah, and it was literally a sweep. We all know what happens when Rob gets in his bag. He just doesn't miss. Once he gets hot, it's over. He drains buckets back to back like it's nothing. But this time it was just different. He skunked Elijah the first game 7-0. The second game, Elijah did a bit better, scoring 2 points, but in the end, unfortunately for him, he still lost.
Hey, wait.
It was a best of 3 and they only managed to score a couple of points. The game wasn't even close. You might think that this has to be Rob's greatest performance. It doesn't get any better than this, but you'd be sadly mistaken because Rob can and did perform better than that. And this brings us to the biggest sweep in the history of the YouTube basketball community, of course excluding flight reacts and GUIs, and that is Rob versus Day Day. It was best of 3, but it was so easy for Rob that it felt like he was practicing at that point. Day Day didn't score a single bucket. He got skunked twice. Losing a game of once is something, getting skunked is another, getting skunked twice back to back is a complete humiliation.
Oh my God. You on that side?
That's good defense.
It's by far Rob's greatest game. Honestly, I can't talk more about it, just take a look at other hoopers' reaction to Rob's insane performance.
That's shooting practice right there. That's shooting practice right there.
I feel like they, again, defense wins championships. You know what I mean? So, god damn.
How much space did they create? Wow. Yo, what the? It's 3 minutes into the video. If this game ain't too quick, they might have to go game 3 just for the watch hour reason. Just for the watch hours, Rob. What the time? What are you? Let's go. Hey, Rob. Yes, I love it. This. What the?
You gotta give it to him. I mean, he's really that guy. No, it's not.
That's 8 minutes. What?
No, it's not.
He didn't score a bucket.
He didn't score. That's the end of Rob versus Dave. That's good defense.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, Rob. Shit.
That's good defense.
Body. Ball thick again. He sells. Now I'm all the way to the other side of the rim. He better not make that shit.
You gotta give it to him. I mean, he's really that guy.
Nas 1v1 Uncle Scoop for $10,000. It was a tournament by Jesser from 2Hype, and you'd think with that much money on the line it would be a close game, but no, instead Uncle Scoop got skunked 7-0.
Double tween.
Step back.
The handle's
Dude,
going crazy on that.
Oh my.
And that's a back.
Count that.
Come on, Scoop. I was in this position for the win. $1,000!
I need it!
Wow.
I need it!
The three-headed raccoon with rabies, aka the twins and Gonzo,
Three-headed raccoons with rabies.
played a 3v3 against DC Heat, AJ, and Castro. The video was literally titled the most embarrassing game in basketball history. So how bad could it be? It was so bad that they started side betting in the middle of the game that if they skunk them, they would get extra bread.
If y'all go 30-0, I'll give each y'all $150. Say less.
Oh.
Don't let these niggas go for real. Keep playing good basketball.
Fred! You heard Fred? Jeremy said if they go 30-0, he got 150 for all three of them.
Who?
Black.
Who said that?
John.
Shit, I'll match it.
Freaking said he matching Jern 150. That's 250 a piece. 250.
Hey, don't even get the ball.
300. My bad, y'all. Don't take that out. 300.
So right now, if they 30-0 this team, which is mad disrespectful, they're getting 300 apiece because Jeremy threw 150 and I said we would match.
This added more fuel to the fire because now they are even more thirsty for the win.
He's on.
Where the fuck he went?
Up top. Hey, up top.
30-0. Never in my life have I seen a score even remotely close to that.
No way. No way.
Irish spring green. That's how we do it.
Losing to Flight Reacts is probably up there with the worst L's that you could take in your life. June Flight or not, there should be no excuse to losing to Flight Reacts in a 1v1 game. Kenny Chow played against Flight in June of last year and he lost. That's it. No need, no explanation. I don't need to explain anything on why it's embarrassing.
Fuck yeah! That's a woo! Irish spring green. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Finally! Damn!
I think everyone in the basketball community knows that Flight React's been taking L's since who knows when. It's not a surprise to see him included in a video about basketball L's. However, this particular loss is so embarrassing and humiliating that dwarfs most of his other losses. Back in 2018, the legendary street hooper Bone Collector skunked Cash Nasty. Flight called out Bone and got absolutely destroyed. However, he managed to score a single point. And after he scored that point, he immediately proceeded to yell at the camera and say this.
Cash, you suck! You suck! I scored and you didn't, bitch!
Obviously, Cash couldn't allow such disrespect to go unchecked, and so he called out Flight to a 1v1 to prove that he's way better than Flight. However, the twist was that Cash had one hand tied behind his back.
Guys, you all know about Flight, you know what I mean? The trash talker, right? He think he better than me since he scored 1 point in Bone Collector, but he got his ass. Boy, you on the floor like, boy,
The floor.
about that.
The floor.
How many points you scored? Ah,
Wow! You was gonna put that over your head, bro. You gonna put that over his head? Flight, one bucket.
Yeah, bro.
You're automatically better because you scored and he didn't.
Yes, it makes you huge.
I can't with him, Cash. I can't, bro. I just can't.
Listen, I'm sorry. One hand tied behind my back, man. I'm into this right now, man. All right? Flight, you know you can't lose this one, dog.
I'm not losing, bro. If I lose this one, I have no right to call this man trash garbage ever again.
I like that.
Hey, I'm using this footage. Remember this. I'm using this clip. Okay.
Cash was so hell-bent on humiliating Flight for all the trash talk that Flight talked. I mean, to be fair, Flight was really talking trash and saying that Cash was buns. For all the smack that Flight talked, you'd think that he'd beat a one-handed Cash. But no, he got outmatched and outclassed by a 2018 one-handed Cash. It was so bad that Flight almost got his ankles broken.
Boy, if I cross with you with one hand, boy, it's bad. You know what I mean?
Every time that Cash would drive to the basket, he would post up Flight and simply lay the ball. Meanwhile, Flight would freeze and just stand there, hoping Cash would somehow smoke the layup.
Let's go, Cassius. Flight.
It was bad to say the least. Losing to a hooper with one arm tied behind his back is next level humiliating. At least he didn't get dunked on, unlike this trash talker who challenged Devontae Friga for absolutely no reason. Devontae Friga was doing a park takeover as usual, and then out of nowhere mid-game a random stranger started trash talking Friga and being loud and all up in his face.
Oh, God, you
Although it was a 5v5, Friga had no choice but to humble dude real quick, and it turned from a regular 5v5 to somewhat of an ISO. As you can clearly see, the challenger got outmatched and outplayed. He was airballing wide open threes, meanwhile Friga was doing behind the back dribbles and elite level of slashing. And then it happened. You can't trash talk someone and then not only airball but also get dunked on. Friga was straight up cooking him. He was dropping back-to-back buckets on his head. He got so embarrassed that at some point he had to switch with his teammates. But it didn't matter because his teammate also got cooked by Friga. Although the challengers got destroyed by the same hooper, at least they didn't get cooked at the same time. Unlike these two trash talkers who got cooked by TJS at the same time.
I don't think you're gonna shoot like that, dog. I really think you're gonna take it though. Now the YouTube channel I watch, you always came out and accepted every challenge. And we talking about the same YouTube channel. I don't know. Just a little quick 87. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. It ain't gonna hurt nobody, right?
Two challengers challenged TJS to a 1v1, and so Christian decided to play them both at the same time. As you can tell, it's a 2v1, literally two hoopers versus one. And yet, despite the disadvantage, TJS skunked them. He was cooking them so bad that one of them literally stopped playing and straight up quit.
So he's not playing?
So I guess he's not playing.
They got complications. They got complications.
And we're going 1v1.
He gave up.
I'm playing next. He won't play myself.
A duo getting skunked by a single hooper is something that they have never seen in a basketball before.
They playing 2-on-1. Lock him up.
Oh my God!
This had to be top 10 most humiliating basketball losses of all time. At least after the game was over, TJS is not the type of hooper to rub it in their faces or make some slick comments about what happened. Unfortunately for this trash talker, that's not the case. A trash talker called out Nation aka Bones to a 1v1, and so Bones gladly accepted the challenge. However, he was not trying to beat him but instead humiliate him.
I was keeping myself out of the conversation. I wasn't hopping no conversation or comparing, this guy to this guy. And man, out of nowhere, one guy just said, yeah, like, I like me better than, Bones and da-da. And I heard it, I'm like, bro, what, bro? And I don't like them. Like I said, I'm very competitive. So just hearing those words, like, that just makes me instantly just tap into my mode. And I instantly said, man, like, you want to check up? Like, it's a court right there. Like, we could go over there and we could check up. I didn't want him to touch the ball or score at all. Like, I wanted him to, feel that and understand, like, for the rest of his life that video will be on YouTube.
Bones felt so insulted and disrespected by this challenger that he wanted to make an example out of him. Bones skunked his trash talker 7-0. He didn't even get the chance to touch the ball. He was getting cooked left and right. Bones would smoke a layup, grab the board, and then proceed to drain a 3 from deep. He was out for blood. The game in itself was humiliating enough. Saying that you are better than someone and then getting immediately skunked by him is embarrassing. However, what even made it worse was when years later Bones went on an interview and said this about the game.
Feel that and understand, like, for the rest of his life that video will be on YouTube and you got 7-0, and I don't ever want you to I feel like that was a really humbling experience for him. Like,
we're gonna end this video on a light-hearted note. The legendary street hooper, the Professor, decided one day that it would be a great idea to break people's ankles in a Spider-Man costume. And so he decided to do that. The Professor pulled up to a random park and immediately started cooking random hoopers while being dressed as a superhero. Imagine getting crossed and dropped off by someone dressed as Spider-Man. It's a funny example, so I had to include it in this list. Let me know which one of these losses you think is the most humiliating one. If you ever heard the phrase, there is levels to this basketball, just know it is a factual statement. This video is a perfect example to highlight the skill gap between different hoopers within the same basketball community. We're gonna start off with the most obvious one, and that is Robert Cologne versus Not So Air Jordan. Believe it or not, this game actually happened.
He ain't hitting that. Oh my goodness. Layup, Jordan. Hey, who picked this matchup, bro? Yo, who set this up? Who set this up? Who set this up?
And it went just exactly how you'd expect it. That game was one of the funniest games on all of YouTube. I was dying the entire time.
Chill, Cam. He might not know what you're talking about. Cam said it, bro. Cam said it, bro. What did he say? Cam said it, bro. That's my Diddy party. My fault. Jordan in the Diddy party. And they show love like that in China. Oh. Ref, Sean Kingston. God damn. Hey, you my dog, though. You my dog. You too, bro. Man, damn! Hey, it's my ball, though, right? You too, bro. He missed the free throw.
But please don't let AJ's trolling distract you from the fact that he lost 12-2, getting dunked on in the process.
Hey! Bro, fuck this game, bro.
And Jordan can hoop. He's not trash, but that man Rob is on another level. That game was what we call an easy leg for Rob. It was literally free money. Shouts out to AJ for fighting back. This game right here is a tough one to watch. Fambi versus Chauncey. Where do I even start? From the surface, the matchup seemed reasonable. Chauncey is a staple in the basketball community. He proved himself in 5v5s, and Fambi is one of them ones. So how could this one be a mismatch? He did that. He damn near scored every bucket with one leg. Not only was it disrespectful, but it exaggerated the 1v1 basketball gap between the two hoopers. I hate to say this, but Fambi made it seem like Chauncey didn't know how to hoop, which is crazy because Chauncey can actually hoop. If you thought the previous L's were bad, then this game right here will shock you. We are talking about an absolute disaster, a massacre, a destruction. If you don't know, OTD did a basketball series in Houston, and it was not looking good for Houston. No offense to anyone who played there, but they were no match for cold-blooded killers that Devo brought. I mean, we are talking about Moon, RJ, Simba, Nesco, Scar, and spoilers alert, Houston didn't win a single game. They were not bad, it's just that the hoopers that played for off the dribble were OP as f. However, one of those games stood out to me the most, and that is Zay versus J. Drew.
Oh my god.
31-0. Yes, 31-0. And all the way skunk. Zay scored on Jay 31 points and Jay couldn't score a single point against Zay. We all know Zay is a titan when it comes to this 1v1 basketball shit, but goddamn 31-0. The score sounds like it's made up. Just take a look at how crazy Zay went that game.
Oh my god.
I don't know what to say. If you told me that you lost 31-0, the only logical explanation is that you got the wrong address and pulled up to the wrong gym. There is no way that you are in the same city as your opponent and lost 31-0. All jokes aside, you can tell that J. Drew can hoop. He just had an off day, he missed shots, and he seemed a bit uncertain on how to guard Zay. And as we all know, Zay is damn near unguardable. Some would even say that he is the best hooper on YouTube. No shame in losing in basketball, especially if you fought back. Shout out to Drew, but at the same time, there is levels to this basketball game, just like any other sport. To make matter even worse, for some reason, Devo decided to team Rob, Nas, Zay together against Houston for a 3v3 game. It's just unfair. At first, it started off fairly equal, mainly because the three titans of basketball never really hooped together as a team, and honestly, Nas and Rob had no chemistry together. They were awkward in their style of play, but then they quickly adjusted and managed to hoop together as a team, rather than three separate players. And it was a massacre. Rob, Zay, and Nas literally took turns on Houston, dropping buckets from different angles and draining threes from different positions. It felt like it was practice. There was no competition.
Hey, I'm looking over there. He gonna have throw ball.
Get out.
I'm always trying to walk the line between us. So pay no mind to my pride. I don't need it.